Okay, so you've seen my main setup, you've seen where everything goes. Now I'm going to show you a little bit about my mix desk. For those of you that don't know how a mix desk works, I'll do my best to explain. So first up, when we're sat in front of a mix desk, the most important thing to know where it is the break button. And what that does is that completely mutes all channels. That means that no sound will be coming out of this mix desk. If you have a problem or a feedback or something, that's the first thing you want to hit. And that is this button right here called break, in brackets, mutes all channels. So I press that and there is now nothing. There's now nothing coming out of here or any of the other channels. So that's our break button. You can also mute individual channels along here. So that's our break button. Next up, when you're looking at it, it's pretty simple in terms of what you can actually do with this mix desk. This is a fairly basic mix desk. Oh my God, that's going to be going on all day, isn't it? So each of these vertical lines here is what's called one channel. Oh my gosh, that actually is so noisy. So each of these lines here is what's called one channel. So you would plug in the instrument in the top here, and then down below it is the way that you control that particular instrument. You can have, on this particular mix board, you can have up to 12 channels going on. These guys at the top here are for microphones. These ones here are for instruments, like for example your guitar. And then down here we have the gain. Now this is basically the signal level that's coming in. It increases the signal level or lowers it. And I'll just show you what that does. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm gonna hope that I don't get any feedback. 1 2. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's already feedback coming through there, and I am back here. So gain is basically what provides the strength to the sound. So we turn that back down to about the middle. Now this U here, which you'll see on all of these knobs, what that means is the same level that the sound is coming in at, you're sending it out. So if I turn it this way, it's actually turning the signal down. If I turn it that way, it's actually turning the signal up. So right in the middle is 0. Or U. So, right here as well, we have a low cut frequency button. That is for when you want to take the bottom end off everything. And I usually press that for my vocals. Now here we have the EQ. Now this is something that pretty much everyone is familiar with. You've got your high level, your mid level, and your low level. Now for singing, I tend to keep them all just a little bit down, with mid right in the middle there. Ever so slightly. That's just going to take the sharp top and the dull bottom off the top of my voice. Next down, this green line all the way along here, these control your monitor levels. So that would be, if I had a second speaker on the floor facing back at me so I can hear myself, that would be how much sound from each of the channels is going into the monitor. Next up, the orange buttons, we have the FX level. Now I'll just show you what that does, that's good fun. Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. So that just completely dries it out, pulling it down to the left there. Turning it all the way up. Hello, hello, So that's what that does. Over here as well, we can change which preset we are using. I generally stick with 7 because plate reverb is one of the nicest. But if I'm feeling a little bit funky, I will change it up for echo or delay, or even pan delay. And the way that you do that is you turn this little knob like that, and then you have a go. Hello, 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 hello. That's what that one does. Or a little bit of 13. I sometimes use hello, 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 hello. Are you out there? It's very space age. So yeah, we'll stick with 7. I like 7. Actually, I want to hear 8 for a second. Oh, that's a bit fun. Okay, so back down to 7. So that's our orange knobs. Lastly, we have these grey knobs, and all that's going to do is, if you have 2 speakers, that's going to pull your sound to either the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Meaning that if you have, you know, a vocalist, a saxophonist, a guitarist, a bassist, and you want them to sound like they are coming from one side or the other, you know, if you imagine looking at your at your band and you've got your singer here, you've got your saxophonist, you've got your bassist. You want the bassist sound to come from the left and you want the saxophonist sound to come from the right-hand speaker so that it's more realistic. So that's what you do. It's just spread the sound a little bit and you can change that. But we're just on vocals today, so that's just going to sit in the middle. Then we got our individual channel mutes. And then we have our volume. Now, again, when you sit it right in the middle here, that is the same level of sound coming in as is going out. So this is the amount of FX on all of the channels. That's just the amount of FX on everything. So I tend to keep that in the middle and then use the individual FX knobs to change the amount on each channel. So that's the vocal one there, that's the main one. And then this one right here is the amount of FX to house. So I can have those up and it's going, you know, reverby, and then I pull that down and there's none. You see? So that's our main reverb knob. Then we've also got the monitor volume. Again, if we had a speaker just here facing at us, we would have the monitors up. And then we got the master again, and you just want to sit that in there. The last thing we have on here, which I'm going to show you, is the FX, which is the main EQ center. I sit it like this for my small performances because the low end and high end need to be up a little bit because it is quite a small space. I quite like them to be up here. And then around the 500 mark is where the majority of my saxophone and vocals sit. So I have that elevated ever so slightly. The next thing is this little button here. This is phantom power. This is for any microphones or any equipment that needs power. And what that does is just send power through these electric cables for it. USB input controls, headphone controls, and last but not least, this is the music coming from my laptop via these guys right here. You can also record out of this mix desk directly into a recording device using these tape out. So yeah, that's my little mix desk walkthrough. I hope that's been educational and I hope you've understood a little bit better about what's going on. Basically, if in doubt, turn everything to you. It's a pretty safe rule. Turn everything to the middle, because then everything's just coming in at the same level as going out. I mean, it's kind of pointless using a mix desk if you're going to do that, but it's a pretty safe bet. So, I'm all set up. I'm going to have some food. I'm going to have a couple of litres of water, and I'm going to be recording a live stream in a couple of hours. So it's been a pleasure showing you around my setup, and I hope you've enjoyed my video. Head to the rest of my videos now to check out me playing out of my window for my neighbours. Check out a couple of yoga videos. There's a bit of chameleon care, some cooking stuff. There's all sorts of things on my channel, so go ahead and check them out. And I am going to finish setting this up, make sure my sound is all good, and pray that the building has stopped before my live stream. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!